National Electrical Code Article 705.12b2 addresses the maximum length of the branch circuit from the output of an uninterruptible power supply (OPS) to the branch circuit panel or connected equipment. For type ITC or type IP copper conductors, the maximum length should not exceed 65 feet. For type MTW, type XHHW, type THHN, and type THWN copper conductors, the maximum length should not exceed 75 feet. Several additional considerations are important when determining the appropriate length of the branch circuit. Firstly, the conductor ampacity must be sufficient to handle the load. Secondly, voltage drop must be considered to ensure that the equipment receives adequate voltage. The length of the branch circuit may need to be reduced if the conductors are oversized. Conduit fill and installation methods can also influence the maximum branch circuit length. To ensure proper operation and safety, it is recommended to consult the UPS manufacturer's specifications for specific distance limitations and installation requirements. The manufacturer's instructions should always be followed when installing a UPS system. The information provided is a general guideline based on the NEC code. Specific requirements may vary depending on local codes and regulations. It is always advisable to consult with a qualified electrician and local authorities to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. Considering ampacity is paramount for electrical safety and optimal system performance. Ampacity refers to the maximum amount of electrical current a conductor can carry continuously without exceeding its temperature rating. Several factors influence a conductor's ampacity, including the conductor material, its size or gauge, the insulation type, and the ambient temperature. Copper conductors generally have higher ampacity ratings compared to aluminum conductors for the same size due to copper's superior conductivity. The larger the conductor's cross-sectional area, the higher its ampacity. Insulation types have different temperature ratings which directly impact ampacity. High temperature rated insulation allows conductors to carry more current safely. Ambient temperature affects the heat dissipation of conductors. Higher ambient temperatures reduce ampacity as the conductor's ability to dissipate heat is diminished. NEC tables, such as those found in Article 310.15 and its accompanying tables, provide detailed ampacity ratings for various conductor types and installation conditions. These tables are essential for determining the appropriate conductor size for a given load. When selecting conductors, it is crucial to consider not only the continuous load but also any non-continuous loads and deterring factors. Non-continuous loads, such as motors starting, can draw significantly higher currents for short periods. Deterring factors account for conditions that reduce ampacity, such as high ambient temperatures, multiple conductors in a conduit, or specific installation environments. Proper ampacity selection ensures that conductors operate within their safe temperature limits, preventing overheating, insulation damage, and potential fire hazards. Using conductors with insufficient ampacity can lead to voltage drop, inefficient operation, and reduced equipment lifespan. Always consult the NEC and a qualified electrician to determine the correct conductor size and ampacity for your specific application. Voltage drop refers to the decrease in voltage along a conductor due to the impedance of the conductor and the current flowing through it. Excessive voltage drop can lead to various problems, including reduced equipment performance, overheating, and potential damage to electrical components. Factors influencing voltage drop include the conductor's length, the conductor's size or gauge, the conductor's material, and the current flowing through the conductor. Longer conductors result in greater voltage drop due to the increased impedance over the length. Smaller conductors have higher resistance, leading to increased voltage drop for the same current. Copper conductors generally have lower resistance compared to aluminum conductors, resulting in less voltage drop for the same size and length. Higher current flow increases voltage drop due to the increased impedance losses in the conductor. The NEC provides guidelines for acceptable voltage drop in branch circuits and feeders. The recommended maximum voltage drop is typically 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To calculate voltage drop, the following formula can be used: voltage drop equals current times resistance. The resistance of the conductor can be determined using tables provided in the NEC or from conductor manufacturers. Several strategies can be employed to minimize voltage drop, including increasing the conductor size to reduce resistance, shortening the conductor length to reduce impedance, using copper conductors instead of aluminum conductors, and reducing the load current by optimizing circuit design. Regularly inspect and maintain electrical systems to identify and address potential voltage drop issues. Over time, connections can loosen or corrode, increasing resistance and voltage drop. Using appropriately sized conductors and ensuring proper connections are essential for maintaining optimal system performance and preventing equipment damage. Always consult the NEC and a qualified electrician to calculate voltage drop and implement appropriate measures to mitigate its effects in electrical systems. Conduit fill refers to the percentage of space occupied by conductors inside an electrical conduit. The NEC sets limits on conduit fill to ensure adequate heat dissipation, ease of installation, and prevent damage to conductors. Exceeding the allowable conduit fill can lead to overheating of conductors, difficulty in pulling conductors through the conduit, and potential damage to the insulation. Factors influencing conduit fill include the size and number of conductors, the type of conduit, and the NEC regulations. The larger the conductors and the greater the number of conductors, the higher the conduit fill percentage. Different types of conduit, such as rigid metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, and flexible metal conduit, have different fill capacity. The NEC provides tables, such as those found in Chapter 9, Table 1 and accompanying tables, that specify the maximum allowable fill for various conduit types and conductor combinations. These tables are essential for determining the appropriate conduit size for a given number of conductors. To calculate conduit fill, determine the cross-sectional area of each conductor using tables provided in the NEC or from conductor manufacturers. Sum the cross-sectional areas of all conductors in the conduit. Divide the total conductor area by the internal area of the conduit to determine the fill percentage. The NEC specifies different fill limits depending on the number of conductors in the conduit. For example, for 3 or more conductors, the maximum fill is typically 40%. Several strategies can be employed to optimize conduit fill, including using compact conductors with reduced insulation thickness, using larger conduit sizes to accommodate more conductors, and minimizing the number of conductors in each conduit by optimizing circuit design. Properly plan and design electrical systems to ensure compliance with conduit fill requirements. Consider future expansion and potential additions when selecting conduit sizes. Regularly inspect and maintain electrical systems to identify and address potential conduit fill issues. Over time, additional conductors may be added to existing conduits exceeding the allowable fill. Always consult the NEC and a qualified electrician to calculate conduit fill and ensure compliance with applicable regulations. Following NEC guidelines for conduit fill is essential for electrical safety, ease of installation, and maintaining the long-term reliability of electrical systems. Manufacturer specifications play a critical role in ensuring the safe and efficient operation of electrical equipment, including UPS systems. UPS manufacturers provide detailed specifications that outline the performance characteristics, installation requirements, and operating limitations of their products. These specifications are essential for proper system design, installation, and maintenance. Key specifications provided by UPS manufacturers include input and output voltage and current ratings, power capacity in kilovolt amperes or kilowatts, operating temperature range, environmental requirements, and communication protocols. Understanding the input and output voltage and current ratings is crucial for matching the UPS to the electrical system and connected loads. The power capacity indicates the maximum load the UPS can support, ensuring that it can handle the connected equipment during power outages. Operating temperature range specifies the acceptable environmental conditions for the UPS, preventing overheating or damage. Environmental requirements outline the necessary conditions for proper operation, such as humidity levels and altitude. Communication protocols enable the UPS to communicate with other devices, such as computers and network equipment, for monitoring and control. In addition to performance specifications, UPS manufacturers also provide detailed installation instructions. These instructions cover topics such as site preparation, mounting requirements, wiring connections, and grounding procedures. Following the manufacturer's installation instructions is essential for ensuring proper operation and preventing damage to the UPS. UPS manufacturers also provide maintenance guidelines and troubleshooting procedures. These guidelines outline the recommended maintenance schedule, including battery replacements, fan cleaning, and system inspections. Troubleshooting procedures provide step-by-step instructions for diagnosing and resolving common issues. Regularly consulting the manufacturer's specifications and following their recommendations is essential for maximizing the lifespan and performance of the UPS. Ignoring manufacturer specifications can lead to improper installation, reduced performance, and potential safety hazards. Always consult the manufacturer's documentation and a qualified electrician for specific guidance on installing and maintaining UPS systems. Local codes and regulations play a crucial role in ensuring the safety and compliance of electrical installations. These codes and regulations are developed and enforced by local authorities such as city or county governments, and are often based on national standards like the NEC. Local codes and regulations may have specific requirements that differ from or add to the NEC. It is essential to understand and comply with all applicable local codes and regulations when designing, installing, and maintaining electrical systems. Local codes and regulations may address various aspects of electrical installations, including wiring methods, grounding requirements, overcurrent protection, and equipment installation. They may also specify requirements for permits, inspections, and licensing of electricians. Compliance with local codes and regulations is not only a legal requirement but also ensures the safety of people and property. Failure to comply with these codes can result in fines, penalties, and even the shutdown of operations. To ensure compliance with local codes and regulations, it is essential to consult with local authorities and qualified electricians. Local authorities can provide information on specific requirements and any recent changes to the codes. Qualified electricians have the knowledge and experience to interpret and apply local codes and regulations to specific electrical projects. Regularly review local codes and regulations to stay up to date with any changes or updates. Attend training sessions and seminars to enhance your understanding of electrical codes and regulations. Maintaining a strong understanding of local codes and regulations is essential for ensuring the safety and compliance of electrical installations. Always prioritize safety and compliance when working with electrical systems. Consulting with a qualified electrician and local authorities is essential for ensuring compliance with all applicable codes and standards. A qualified electrician plays a critical role in ensuring the safety and compliance of electrical installations. A qualified electrician has the necessary training, experience, and licensing to perform electrical work in accordance with applicable codes and regulations. Hiring a qualified electrician is essential for ensuring that electrical work is performed safely and correctly, minimizing the risk of electrical hazards. Qualified electricians have a thorough understanding of electrical codes, wiring methods, grounding techniques, and safety procedures. They can properly design, install, and maintain electrical systems to meet the specific needs of the application. Qualified electricians can also identify and address potential electrical hazards, such as overloaded circuits, damaged wiring, and improper grounding. They can perform electrical inspections to ensure that existing systems are safe and compliant with current codes. When selecting a qualified electrician, it is essential to verify their credentials, including their license, insurance, and experience. Check their references and read reviews to ensure they have a good reputation for quality workmanship and customer service. Obtain multiple quotes from different electricians to compare pricing and services. Clearly communicate your expectations and requirements to the electrician before starting the work. Ensure that the electrician obtains all necessary permits and inspections for the electrical work. Regularly communicate with the electrician throughout the project to address any questions or concerns. Following these steps will help you select a qualified electrician who can perform electrical work safely, correctly, and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Working with a qualified electrician is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems.